the number of protesters grew into the thousands, the NYPD began to clamp down.
Our top story this half hour, dozens of activists are under arrest after their demonstration got out of hand.
Many of the run-ins with police were filmed by the protesters and uploaded online.
One of the most important characteristics of this movement is that it is defiant. It is disorderly. And so when the police are confronted with this open defiance, they have fallen back on pepper spraying people and mass arrests. But because of the fact that video cameras are everywhere and social media is there to transmit these images instantly around the world, these attacks have been seen as repression of the movement, and it's just stimulated more involvement, more sympathy, more mainstream media coverage.
There was in fact a clash between protesters and police that many believe transformed Occupy Wall Street almost overnight from a local demonstration into a worldwide movement. On October 1st, a large group of protesters marching to Brooklyn were led by the NYPD onto the roadway of the Brooklyn Bridge. The police stopped them at the midway point and arrested over 700 people. The entire incident was caught on camera and broadcast live around the world through the internet.
It was one thing for 5 or 6 or 50 people to get arrested. But when 700 people got arrested, it just blew this thing up into an international media frenzy.
And it wasn't just the NYPD.
For it was as if the police thought they were the exterminators and the students at their campus, UC Davis, were the cockroaches.
Police at occupations around the country also aggressively cracked down on the protesters in their cities.
Mayor Bloomberg, can I ask you a question?
2 weeks after the Brooklyn Bridge incident, New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg made a surprise visit to Zuccotti Park. He told protesters the conditions in the park had become unsanitary and that he would remove the occupiers so that the park could be cleaned.
Tomorrow's cleaning plan seems a lot like an eviction plan. We will resist any attempts to remove us from this park. To remove us from this park! We gotta make this place shine!
Given less than 24 hours notice before the city cleaning was to take place, the Zuccotti Park occupiers set about scrubbing down the park themselves, hoping to avoid eviction.
What I think is really going to happen is once sanitation or police or whoever show up, and then I think that they're going to try to remove us by force, and then they won't allow us to come back in.
If you really want to see what they're going to be doing to us tomorrow morning, check the rule board that they just put up on the wall.
The following types of behavior are prohibited in Zuccotti Park. Camping and or the erection of tents or other structures.
In addition to the cleanup notice, the city of New York erected a sign in the middle of the night listing a new set of park rules already being broken.
That's the reason now to come in here, sweep it, and throw us out.
So do you think it's going to be effective?
We can get 10,000 people out here. Maybe people power will trump it. You know, maybe they'll back off.
Please stay here!
Please stay here!
And please tell all your friends to come here to protect us from eviction!
The city scheduled the cleanup for 6 a.m. the morning of October 14th. The stage was set for a showdown.
So it's about 5:30 in the morning, and over the past few hours, thousands of people have descended on the park, and it looks like they're not going to go quietly.
In the early morning before the deadline, the police took their positions around the perimeter of the park, and the tension began to rise.
I have one question for you all. Who here is ready to defend our park? Who here is ready to defend our park? This is our time. Never surrender. Never surrender. Occupy. Occupy.
Big march coming in. Sign saying NYPD, protecting certain rich.
As the 6 a.m. deadline arrived, the sheer density of people now occupying the park made it obvious that it would be impossible for the police to clear the protesters out. And then,
the announcement came. Coming up, after a victory for the protesters in Zuccotti Park, Occupy Wall Street digs in for a long winter.